All right. So here we are to practice Tonglen meditation for Palestine. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Tonglen meditation and why it feels like an especially useful one for this time. So usually when we feel any kind of discomfort, we try to like push it away. We try to not feel it. Somehow we have all kinds of different things that we do to, get ourselves to not feel what we're feeling, like um, maybe like smoking or hitting a vape or like um, looking at your phone, scrolling, like anything to distract you, maybe like getting a little treat, buying something, can be a way to just get yourself to not feel what what you're feeling. But in the meditation that we're going to do today, that's called Tonglen, we we really sit with the discomfort that we feel for longer than we usually let ourselves. And as we do that, you part of what we're practicing is realizing that you're not alone in that feeling. And so as you feel a feeling of discomfort, you breathe that in and you send out a sense of relief in some kind of way. So like a sense of like more space, some love, some compassion, whatever whatever you think would bring some relief. So that's that's at the basis of Tonglen. It's breathing in, feeling the suffering, breathing out, feeling a sense of relief. So it's a meditation that helps us to grow in compassion by really getting to know your own experience, by really being with your own experience, and by realizing that what humanity experiences, what the rest of the world experiences is shared with you. And also that what you experience is shared with the rest of the world. So something to note with this, because if we're practicing this for people who we see as suffering, that this isn't something about like helping like the less fortunate or taking pity on anyone, but realizing that we're the same. We feel the same things. We are the same in like this very fundamental kind of way. So it's really a way to be there with those who are suffering, to be there for them, and to be able to stay present with what's going on. When you think of like being there for someone, it's that you can stay present with what's going on without needing to like run away or like distract yourself somehow. So it's really a practice to move closer to your experience instead of turning away from it, which is, you know, I would say tends to be our default. So this is like a way of really shifting how we relate to our more challenging emotions. And with that, like I want to say that it's kind of like if you think of like weightlifting as an example. Like you don't walk into the gym and start with, lifting the heaviest weight for like as long as you can. Your system can't handle that. And like this is also a matter of building up emotional strength that we're practicing through this. So we're just going to be doing the meditation for like short amounts of time. And you can keep building it up from there. And as you build it up, what you'll find is like with weightlifting, you can see your like muscles getting bigger. Well, with this, you don't like see a change, but your heart gets stronger. You are able to open your heart to more people, to more situations without needing to be like, no, no. So it's really powerful. And I just want to make a note that you can practice this all the time too. You can practice this all the time. Aside from thinking of like extreme situations like affecting the world, you can use it also in like your day-to-day life. Like when things hurt, when something doesn't feel good to you can remember that other people also feel that. And when things feel good, when something happens that feel good, you can send out a wish that other people can experience that feeling, that like nice feeling. So that's something that you can just build that in as like kind of like a mental habit of how you think of things when you're having a tough time or when you're having like a really nice time, that you can share that. You can make it like not just yours, which I feel like that's so powerful. And another another aspect about this practice that I want to talk about is that like the weightlifting thing of, like sometimes it can feel too heavy. It can feel too heavy. And when you feel that sense of like it's too much, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like scared or just like a sense of doubt or resistance in any way, and you feel like you can't do this, it's too much, you can shift your focus in the meditation to do the practice for all of the people who also feel like it's too much, for all of the people who also feel overwhelmed and scared and a sense of doubt and like hopelessness, that you can do the practice for them, breathing in that feeling, being with that feeling, and breathing out a sense of courage and possibility and hope. And we're going to practice that here today, but I just wanted to like mention that this meditation, it's a tool that lets us work with our fear of pain. Like we normally just feel scared of feeling pain unless, it's in certain consensual circumstances, that's different, but like pain that we don't want that, like we're very actively like, no, don't want that. So this is a tool that helps us not have so much resistance to the idea of it, so we can work with our fear, so we can be braver, so we can be more courageous, so we can take the action that we want to in the world without being overwhelmed by feelings of like fear and doubt. um okay, and so this is really, when we think about the practice, I just want to emphasize this is like the core of what we're doing in this meditation is breathing in others' pain and breathing out a sense of relief, relaxation, whatever would bring them some comfort, breathing out that feeling. So I want to share an example of how I worked with this, like just here in my life, and how, it also connects, it also connects to thinking about Palestine and what things are like there now. That so where I live, um, I can hear the neighbors a lot. I don't know how much you can hear through my headphones, and I know Zoom has noise canceling and stuff. Um, but yeah, I can hear the neighbors a lot, and that includes kids, kids who are playing, and as they're playing, they're like screaming and laughing and just being really loud. And I used to get really annoyed about it, like very like grumpy neighbor kind of vibes. Like, hey, you kids, pipe down out there. I'm trying to work, like, and um now now when I hear the kids like playing outside, I like think of how grateful I am that they're free to be safe and like run around and play outside and like laugh and yell, and um to feel a sense of like gratitude for them instead of feeling like mad about it. um and so one way of like working with the Tonglen meditation, that this is like, and we're talking about like weightlifting, of starting with like kind of easier things to carry, something that feels more possible, is like thinking of all the people who feel annoyed by hearing children playing. You can imagine what that feels like. Honestly, still, I have my, not as great days when I'm like, oh my God, will they shut up, but then I can check myself about it, and like this is also part of it's like I do that on me. So like may all the people who feel annoyed by hearing children playing, may they feel a sense of gratitude and joy that they get to hear children playing. Like, so that's like one example of how you can work with this. And we're about to go into the practice here, where we'll do it more like formally, going through 4 different stages that we'll practice for like 2 minutes each. But aside from doing it as a formal practice, I really want to say you can bring this into your life daily. easily, I mean, just could be basically constant, that you could be practicing this. So yeah, but now we'll practice together more formally. So first, for 2 minutes, we'll just arrive here, um, in a state of openness or stillness, opening to an awareness of what you're feeling in your body, awareness of being with your breath now. For 2 minutes here. If you notice your mind wandering, just really gently bringing your focus back to the breath. About 1 more minute here. Keeping your focus with the breath. One final breath here. Okay. Now, for the second section, we're going to work with feelings of texture, feelings of sensation that will use our imagination to add to the breath. So the way we'll practice this, we'll breathe in a feeling of hot, dark, and heavy, like a sense of claustrophobia. And breathe out, imagine that you're breathing out a feeling of coolness, brightness, and lightness, a sense of relief, a sense of being able to relax. So we'll practice here for 2 minutes. Breathing in completely these feelings through every pore of your body. Breathing in the heat, the darkness, the heaviness. Breathing out the light, the bright. about 1 more minute here, keeping the mind focused, breathing in the sensations of heaviness, darkness, breathing out feelings of brightness, release, fullness. Last breath here, breathing in the heat, the darkness, breathing out, release, fullness, light. And now we're going to make it more real, um, working with not just ourselves, but thinking of people who we care about and who we want to help. So that's like the point of doing Tonglen, that we want to help, that we see people who are in pain and we want to help. But like I was talking about before, that can feel too big sometimes. So we're going to do the practice for the pain that we feel about Palestine right now. And simultaneously, we're going to spread that out for all of the other people who are also feeling this pain of witnessing what's happening. So we're going to do it for 2 minutes. That you can do the practice for the pain that you feel when you see images and videos from Palestine, and you want to help and you want to stop it, but you feel inadequate or powerless as you keep seeing more images and reading more about the growing suffering each day, each week, each month. Breathe this feeling in for yourself. Let yourself feel it, and breathe it in for everyone else around the world witnessing this together and wishing they could do more to end this genocide. And as you exhale, breathe out a sense of empowerment and confidence. Breathe out this feeling for yourself and for everyone around the world, that we're going to keep working against the fascist forces of oppression, that we will not be overwhelmed by our feelings of despair, that we can find strength within ourselves and through each other, and we'll continue to take action. Continuing to breathe in the feelings of helplessness, and breathing out feelings confidence, support, encouragement. Letting yourself really feel these feelings as much as you can. Last breath here, breathing in feelings of not doing enough, breathing out feelings of capability, of strength. For this last round of practicing the Tonglen meditation, we're going to expand it out further for the Palestinian people now. And although maybe you can't personally relate to what that experience is like, just can't imagine. But maybe there are some Palestinian people who you've been following posts from. You've read messages about what it's been like for them. You've seen images of the suffering, and aside from those individuals, expand it out to include all of the Palestinian people now in your mind, in your heart. And breathe in what you can begin to imagine of the pain the Palestinians are experiencing right now. Let yourself be with the feeling as you breathe it in. And as you breathe out feelings of comfort and reassurance, connection and hope, freedom and relief. Breathe out an end to this genocide. And if it feels too big to be with, let yourself be with that and notice what that feels like inside of you without any judgment. But do your best to stay here with the feelings for another minute as you breathe in the suffering and breathe out relief. Last breath here, being with these feelings as much as you can. Okay. Now letting that go, letting it go for now. Let it go for now and check in with your body now. Check in with how you're feeling in this moment. Come back to your center, right here, in this moment. So I'm going to say just a little bit more about Tonglen meditation, and then we'll get into action. So, Tonglen can extend indefinitely, can extend infinitely. As you do the practice, gradually over time, your compassion naturally expands. And so does your realization that things are not as solid as you thought. As you do this practice gradually at your own pace, you will be surprised to find yourself more and more able to be there for others, even in what used to seem like impossible situations. Acknowledging and accepting what we and others are struggling with does not equal resignation. The practice gives us a sense of agency and takes the factors that compound distress, like a sense of isolation, lack of connection, self-focus, and rejection of what is, and it turns them around so we can take action. All right. So that's our Tonglen practice for today.